everybody. Today we are back with the second video in the show and tell. Today we are doing Jazz Samba by Getz and Charlie Byrd. This is a really good record if you're just looking to chill out, listen to some bossa nova, just relax. So this record was released in 1962, released on Verve Records, and I know that there were, I think, 5 albums that are similar to this by Stan Getz. There's an encore version of this, I think it's called Jazz Samba Encore, and it's just some standards and other original music like this. And then I know a couple years after this was released, Stan Getz worked with another person, and then they recorded, I think, 2 or 3 albums together, and I think a live album, or maybe it was one original studio album and then a live album. And they're all really amazing. I have this one, which is the one with Joao Gilberto, and it's really amazing. The lyrics are not English, so you don't really understand it unless you get the language, but it's just really relaxing. It's really cool, and it's from a really important time in music. These albums were really important in getting bossa nova into America, so pretty important, and I'm glad I own these. I got these for like $2 or something at a estate sale. They were like covered in dust and stuff, so I was really glad to find them. So I think, let's see, yeah, the tracks are not actually listed on the back, it's just blank, and let's see, what's it say? 2 jazz soloists play fresh, contemporary sounds from modern Brazilian folk music. The Jazz of America is on Verve, and I think the track names are in here. There's a bit of there's an about the music that gives a little paragraph about each track that I'll get to. But first, let's see what's on this side. The artists and musicians involved. Stan Getz, obviously, tenor sax, Charlie Byrd on guitar, and I think he arranged the songs, or most of them anyway. Getz on bass, Gene Byrd, who is Charlie Byrd's brother, I think, on bass and guitar. Buddy Deppenschmidt on drums, and also Bill Reichenbach on drums. Oh, here's the track listing. Side 1. Also, I may pronounce these totally incorrectly, so sorry in advance. I'll do my best. Desafinado, Samba These Days, which is definitely my favorite track on that side. O Petto, which is the duck. Samba Triste. And then side 2, there's Samba de uma nota só, which I think translates to like a one-note samba. Then there's Ilusioso, which is definitely the best track on that side too. Both Samba These Days and Ilusioso are like the faster ones. And they're just really amazing. You should definitely check those 2 out if you're gonna do anything. And then Baya. I don't think I'm familiar with that one actually. I'd probably know it if I heard it, but that name doesn't sound familiar to me. Recorded in Pierce Hall in All Souls Unitarian Church, which is really interesting. I did not know that this was done in a church. In Washington, D.C., February 13th of 1962. The engineer was Ed Green, and the cover painting was Olga Albizu. And she also did the painting for this one. Actually, so there's that one, and then there's that. They're really similar. Oh god, hard to get them both in frame, but there's one, there's the other. And I did some Googling, and the other three, I mean, I've seen one of them in person before, and yeah, they're all very similar. One of them is blue, I think, and yeah, the others are just very similar to this, and they're really cool. I really like the style of this. It's like going in your own little piece of art, you know? Alright. So, there's quite a bit to read here, so this might take a little bit, but who cares, you know? Alright, let's focus that bad boy. The samba is a Brazilian dance derived from the Mexiques, another dance that comes from that South American country. The samba, which has its roots in Africa, is characterized by a dip and swing as it is performed. The movements of the dance are supple and graceful, and the rhythmic pulse of the music is infectious. The samba is believed to be a relative of the tango, but is acknowledged to be a much more energetic member of the family. A jazz samba can be characterized as a version of the music utilizing samba rhythm, but featuring jazz improvisation on the melody and the harmonic structure of the composition. The union of Stan Getz and Charlie Byrd on this recording is particularly fortunate. Each musician is a sensitive soloist with great lyrical power. Neither attempted to play Latin, but let the ingratiating samba rhythm carry them along in their improvisations on the melodic content of the music. Oh, let me try and focus this better. This is quite annoying. There you go. Byrd became absorbed with the rhythms and the songs of Brazil during a South American tour he made with bassist Getz and drummer Buddy Debbenschmidt in 1961. He returned from the trip with scores of records, and with the experience of having played with Brazilian musicians in a variety of contexts. Getz lately has sought to bring his fluid tenor sax into different jazz settings on records. Most notable of these efforts to date has been his collaboration with composer/arranger Eddie Sauter in Focus, a remarkable album in which Stan wove exquisite melodies and counter-melodies through a brilliant fabric of music furnished by Sauter for a large string ensemble. When we were in Brazil, Byrd noted, I played on occasion with some of the local musicians. We did these songs, and I found it easy to improvise jazz to them. The people seemed to like it. Musicians there do not do so much improvising. As we started to work out plans for this album, we looked for some kind of a voice to be a little like the use of the human voice in these songs, and still have a jazz feeling. It had to be someone who could play jazz, but with sensitivity. Stan was perfect. Getz recalled that he had tried to capture the flavor of this kind of music in the past, with limited success. I liked the music, he said. I had played with Miguelito Valdez and with Machito, and I enjoyed it very much. I listened to Charlie's Gilberto record, and it felt good. I thought I'd like to play with rhythm relaxed like that. It was the first time I ever played with Charlie, and the things he did with the guitar and the music really impressed me. He has such a feeling for melody. The chord changes on the tunes were very adaptable for improvising, and they did some different things with rhythm. The two basses filled out the line. I enjoyed hearing the music, but I dug playing it with Charlie and his guys even more. Wait a minute. Oh, I totally didn't even realize that there were two basses on this album. Oh wow, that's weird. I'm gonna have to listen to that now. That's strange. Byrd sketched out the routines for the songs. Where two basses were used, he wrote in more detail. Stan the records, but according to Charlie, they hadn't influenced him too much. He improvised naturally, which was exactly what you have to do with this kind of music. The entire album was recorded in one day in the acoustically warm hall of a Washington, D.C. church. I did not know that either. That is really cool. I did a video that I never released on a Marty Robbins album, and I read that that was also recorded in a day, and that's just amazing. I had no idea that that was so popular back then. I only knew that, like, the Beatles had recorded their first album in a day, and that was it. That was, like, the big story in college when I was in my history of music class, or whatever it was called. That's really cool. Alright, here's a little about Stan Getz. Since the late 1940s, when Stan Getz drew... Oh boy, what did he draw? International attention to his tenor sax with his lyrical solo on Woody Herman's Early Autumn. He has built an impressive career in jazz out of his gift for melodic improvisation. His sound is soft and warm, but takes on a firm edge at peppy tempos. The wide variety of jazz experience he has crammed into his 35 years includes work with the bands of Jimmy Dorsey, Benny Goodman, Stan Kenton, Woody Herman, Jack Teagarden, and Bob Chester, among others. He has been leader of his own group since 1951 and has played in most of the leading cities of the world. He recently returned to this country after nearly 3 years of residence in Denmark. He has won scores of awards from jazz publications the world over, including, in this country, Metronome's annual poll for 11 straight years, Downbeat's annual poll for 10 years, Playboy's annual poll for 4 consecutive years, and top awards in Downbeat's Critics' Poll, Melody Maker's Readers' Poll in Great Britain, Jazz Echo Readers' Poll in Germany, and many others. Alright, now here's a little about Charlie Byrd. One of the few guitarists in jazz to use the unamplified guitar, as well as the more conventional amplified instrument, Byrd hails from a family of guitarists. He was born 36 years ago in Suffolk, VA. What is VA, Virginia? And grew up in a community with a large Negro population. Wow. His early exposure to music was to blues guitarists and singers, and to Negro gospel music. Yeah, I don't think this aged very well, but whatever. Byrd's father and 3 brothers played guitar, and Charlie followed in the tradition by starting on mandolin and guitar at the age of 10. While in the U.S. Army during World War II, he played guitar in a band, jammed with Django Reinhardt, and was exposed to modern jazz. In the mid-1940s, he worked with Freddie Slack, Joe Marsala, Barbara Carroll, and Sol Yaget, among others. I'm sure I said that wrong. He settled in Washington to study with Sophocles Pappas, widely known guitar teacher. In 1954, an audition with Andres Segovia led to an invitation for Charlie to study with Segovia in Italy that summer. He still lives in Washington and works there and in other top jazz locations with his trio. Okay, about the rhythm section. Keeter William Thomas Betts began as a drummer, but switched to bass after graduating from high school in 1946. He worked with Earl Bostic, Dinah Washington, and Nat and Cannonball Adderley's group, before settling in Washington and locating with Charlie Byrd's group. He is a native of Port Chester, New York, and is 33 years old. Whoa. I wonder if Nat is Nat King Cole. That'd be interesting. I don't really know too much history about these guys. Gene Byrd is Charlie's 24-year-old brother, making his recording debut on this album. He was a senior at Peabody Conservatory in Baltimore when the sides were recorded. 2 drummers were used because, as Byrd noted, this is what the Brazilians do. Both drummers play simple patterns, and together they swing. Buddy, William H. Debenschmidt, is 25 years old and played with Byrd for a year and a half. I wonder if these are not actually their names and their real names are in parentheses, because Keter Betts, that's not even like a cool name. I don't know. He should have just kept William Thomas. I don't know if that's the case though, but that's weird. Well, Buddy William H. Debenschmidt is 25 years old and played with Byrd for a year and a half. Although he left the group recently, he returned to make the album. He made the South American tour with Charlie and participated on Byrd's 3 recent albums. He is currently with Billy Butterfield. Bill Reichenbach recently joined Byrd on drums. His experience includes work with Tommy Dorsey's band and as a rhythm man with Georgia Gibbs, among others. Alright, and here is about each track. This will be interesting because I haven't read this yet, so that'll be cool. Alright, now about the music. Side 1, Desafinado. This is the recording Stan heard. Hold up. This is the recording Stan heard by João Gilberto, the Brazilian singer. Charlie notes that the lyric of the song recounts that the singer may sing off-key, but his heart is in his song. The piece is built around that theme. Rhythm opens the track, then Stan states the lovely theme. Charlie's solo is strongly pulsing, and Stan returns blowing hard through the coda, which is played lyrically. Samba these days. Byrd wrote and titled this one. It was a kind of challenge, he said. I heard the style of music and said to myself that I could write a samba. Stan opens the piece with a series of driving choruses. Charlie follows with his solo, and then Stan takes it back and out. Oh, Pato. This title translates the duck. Charlie recalled. It was one of the ones I heard on the tour that struck me as a cute little piece. We heard it quite a bit. It's one that people hear, then say, that's from Brazil. There's a bluesy opening with Stan and Charlie voiced over the rhythm. Charlie takes a bright 2-bar break into his solo. Stan returns at the bridge for a solo that includes a good-natured reference to Idaho, one of the favorite states of jazzmen. Charlie returns for a few bars, and then the rhythm takes it out. Samba Triste. Charlie asked Brazilian guitarist Baden Powell if there were any sambas written in a minor key. Powell said there was just one that he knew, Samba Triste. Charlie opens with lyrical guitar. Stan's solo is mournful, and Charlie's has a wistful lyric quality. Stan returns with an emotional opening to his solo that sums up the tune's title and mood. Alright, now side 2. Samba de uma nota só. Literally, the samba on only one note. This, said Charlie, is the most recorded of all. It's very well known in Brazil. 16 bars of rhythm open the track. It should be noted somewhere along the line that sambas are usually more complicated structurally than, say, American pop songs of 32 bars. Most sambas have 3 parts, and the harmonic line may run to 64 bars. Stan takes several hard choruses. Charlie follows with his solo in a lighter vein. Then the bass solo leads to an interesting interplay among the melody instruments at the end. E Luxoso. Frankly, Charlie smiled. I don't know what the title means, but it's a good fast samba, and we needed one. Rhythm opens the track, and Stan states the theme. Charlie solos, playing melody while Stan blows fills. Stan solo sizzles, with the rhythm section cooking behind him. This is definitely my favorite track of the whole album. Definitely check it out. It's pretty funky for that time. Alright, and the last track, Baya. Perhaps best main part of the tune is a real buy-in song. Everybody in Brazil knows, Charlie noted. 8 bars of rhythm open the track, then Stan states the pretty theme. Charlie takes over at the bridge, with Gene's Argo bass behind him, and with Stan blowing fills that become a call and response between the pair. Charlie takes a delicate and moving solo before Stan comes back with pushing, driving tenor that toys with both melody and rhythm. Notes by Dom Cerulli. Alright, I guess that's all to be read. Here's the whole inside. There's a picture of them together. Yeah, it's really nice. Really cool album. Let's see, what else? Anything else? I read that. I guess I'll take out the record and see if there's anything interesting on there to show. Alright, so there's not much on this that I haven't already read, but at the bottom there it says MGM Records, a division of Metro Goldwyn Mayer, Inc., made in USA. And then you can see the Verve Records logo. I really like this logo with it looks like a T or something right down the middle. That's also on this Getz Gilberto album that I have. And I'm not sure if it's on the other Verve records, but I assume it is. I think it's really interesting. Anything? Yeah, same thing on the back, on the B side. Alright, well, I guess that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Maybe next time I will do the sequel, I guess you could say. Oh god, I can't really see it. Yeah, this one's also really amazing. This one is like, basically, if you like samba and bossa nova, but you want the lyrics, basically. Like this, these are all instrumentals, and then these all have lyrics.